One small, unimportant decision that you made that changed the whole trajectory of your life.
So in 2010, I took 2 summer jobs. One of them was at an ice cream parlor, which was awesome, and the other one was just like a retail job. And I mostly just took that job because my sister worked at the same company. And after 1 summer of working in both of those jobs, I loved the ice cream parlor, mostly because I got free ice cream and I could walk to work, but like I wasn't really interested in being a cashier or working retail, so I decided that I would not come back the following summer. Anyway, following summer rolls around, and as it turns out, I can't really get as many hours in the ice cream parlor as I wanted, so I opt to go back to this retail job and just like figured out kind of make the best of it, even though I didn't really like it. And as it turns out, I absolutely loved that summer there, and that company was REI, and now 11 years later, I still work for REI. I now have my own YouTube series with them called Miranda in the Wild. I am an outdoor influencer, and honestly, I have the absolute dream job.
You made one small, unimportant decision that you made that changed the whole trajectory of your life.
Don't come for my hair, it's wash day, but in 2004, I was spending the night at my best friend's house, and in the morning, she asked me if I wanted to sleep in or come with her to the incoming freshman volleyball camp. I called my mom, she said, hey, do what you want, and call me and I'll come pick you up. So I decided to bring my book, go to volleyball camp, ask the coaches if I could sit on the sideline and watch while my friend played, and they said sure. 5 minutes later, they asked me if I wanted to join. Fell in love with the game, made the freshman team. 2012, I signed to play for University of Texas, full ride scholarship. And then when I graduated, I signed a contract to play in Poland professionally, became a professional athlete. Played in Poland for 2 years, Italy for 3 years, Turkey for 3 years. And in 2016, I became an Olympic medalist. And I always wonder what my life would be if I didn't go to the camp and I would have slept in.
One small, unimportant decision that you made that changed the whole trajectory of your life.
$20 literally changed the course of my life. So during the pandemic, I had a really toxic job and essentially I had to quit. I was looking for a job for a really, really long time, and then these TikToks kept popping up about how you need to optimize your LinkedIn profile and so on. So I really didn't want to spend the $20 because I didn't have a job. I know it's not that much, but I didn't want to spend it. But I did spend it on a program that would help me learn how to optimize my LinkedIn profile. Then literally within the next week, a ton of job opportunities started coming my way. And also someone from an organization that helps place people into entry-level tech roles reached out to me. The organization was called Us in Tech, and they helped me land a new role where I work with executives every day. And through them, I was actually able to help about 6 of my other friends get jobs in the pandemic too. And because of that, I was able to move out of the South and move to New York City, and now I'm living my dream life.
One small, unimportant decision that you made that changed the whole trajectory of your life.
All right, I got a really good one for this. So it's about 2 years ago, my mother's friends buy me a concert ticket to go see Chris Jansen live in South Dakota, where I'm from. The day of the concert rolls around, like I just did not want to go. The last thing I wanted to do was go to a country concert, but whatever, they talked me into going. So like 20 minutes before the show, I haul ass, I get ready, I go there. We end up being front row. So we're just talking with the people around us casually, you know, and then the band comes out, and I happen to be directly in front of the bass player. And when I tell you guys that this is the most gorgeous man I've ever seen in my entire life, like tattoos, beautiful body, like just gorgeous man. And one of the girls in the crowd knew his Instagram handle, which is weird because his Instagram handle has nothing to do with his real name. So I have no idea how she found it, but whatever, that's besides the point. So I decided to shoot my shot that night, and here we are, fast forward 2 years later. I have been living in Nashville now for 1.5 years with him, and we are madly in love, and I have 2 beautiful cats. And all right, let's do this. Before I start though, there's a few things I want to say. Number one being, I received a wild amount of DMs from women saying that I'm a clout chaser and that I'm only with my man because of his career, or just calling me a flat out liar about this whole story. And I just want you to know that whatever you are going through, it's all going to be okay, because clearly there's something going on in your life, and you do not know how to process it like an adult yet. But I also want you to know that jealousy is the ugliest trait, so I hope that you figure yourself out, because damn. Number two being that when I had the great idea of doing a more in detail story time, I didn't realize that that video was going to get so many views, and now that it has, I almost feel weird sharing this story. I don't know how to explain it. I feel awkward and weird, and there are going to be some things that I leave out just because there's some things that I want to keep private to him and I in our relationship, just because that's a very intimate story, and, you know, I just want to keep it private between him and I. So if it seems like I'm jumping around a little bit, that's probably why. But let's begin. All right, so the night of the concert, I remember telling people around me that this man will be my boyfriend. The bass player will be my boyfriend one day. I just remember repeating that. So I get home and I'm ready to shoot my shot and send my DM, which is very weird for me, very uncomfortable for me. I am very stuck up when it comes to men. I'm very, I don't know, I hate saying stuck up, but I just don't give a lot of people the time of day, which is rude of me to say, I guess, but that's just the reality of it. So for me to actually message someone, that took a lot out of me. So I shoot my shot and I'm like, hey, if you're ever in town again, I'd love to show you around, and whatever. We go on, we just kind of have small talk over the next couple weeks, all this, and then I get a message one night and he's like, hey, I just want you to know that, like, you're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen. Like, literally, you're drop dead gorgeous, all this. So obviously I'm like freaking out because, like, damn, like, this is literally the man of my dreams. And he's like, we're coming back to Sioux Falls to play for Keith Urban. Like, would you be interested in going? And I was like, duh, like, who wouldn't want to see Keith Urban? Like, obviously. So I go to this concert. Remember, we have not met before this. Like, we have never met in person before this. That night after that show, he only had like 10 minutes and he came and said hello, we hugged, all that. And he was just so good looking, like so good looking. So that night we end up, or I think it was actually the next day, we ended up booking a cabin to the Black Hills together. We go, super fun. Over the next couple months, we kind of just have fun. It's nothing serious. We would meet in like different cities and see each other. It was a lot of fun though. Like, honestly, it was kind of like a no strings attached type thing. But then we go to New Orleans, and this is where everything. All right, so now we're in New Orleans, and when I tell you, like, everything changed on this trip, like, literally everything changed on this trip. We ended up meeting a couple from Minnesota while we were in New Orleans, and they're still good friends of ours today. But while we were there, the girl just kept telling me, she was like, you two are gonna get married. Like, the way he looks at you, like, you two are gonna get married. And I was just like, shut up, like, we're not even dating, like, stop. And we were actually told this a couple times on that trip. Like, people would ask how long we've been together, and we're like, we're actually not dating. And they're like, what? Like, I was told multiple times, like, just the way he looks at me, like, he just looks at me like I'm the only woman in the world. And, like, I saw it too, but I didn't want to be crazy. So at this point, like, our trip was kind of coming to an end in New Orleans, and we were both like, well, damn, like, where do we go from here? Like, we both clearly really like each other. Like, you know, we can't stop thinking about each other. Like, you know, clearly something more needs to happen. And he was like, I want you to be my girlfriend. And I was just like, okay. I'm, like, trying to play it cool. I was like, right on. But, like, clearly I was, like, dying inside, like, dying. And then he's like, I want you to move to Nashville with me tomorrow. And I was just like, what? And he's like, change your flight and move to Nashville with me. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I have my family home. Like, my work is back home. Like, I can't just up and leave. So I was like, just give me some time. Like, I'll be in Nashville by the end of the month. Like, just give me a little bit of time. I get home. I see my mom. I'm like, hey, I have a boyfriend. She's like, cool. I knew you would. And I was like, cool. And I was like, I'm moving to Nashville. And she's like, cool, when? And I was just like, really? And she's like, absolutely. Like, when are you moving? And I was like, you support that? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I just want to meet him first. So he buys a couple tickets for my family in Iowa when they played there. And my parents met him, loved him. They were just like, you know what? Take good care of my daughter. Like, we trust her. Like, she's really into you. Take good care of her. So 3 weeks later, I up and moved to Nashville and started a new life here for a man that I've met like 4 times and am madly in love with. And I'm not gonna lie and say it's been all peaches and roses, but it has been the best decision I've ever made, and that one night changed literally my whole life. And when I moved here, I moved in with Kevin and Deckard. Kevin is the guitar player for Chris Jansen, and so I met his girlfriend Bailey, and I've ended up meeting one of my best friends. Bailey is an awesome girl. So if you're looking to fall in love at a Chris Jansen concert, the guitar player is taken. They're perfect together. I'm going to do a different video kind of updating on where Deckard is now, just because a lot of people are asking who he is and everything. So I'm going to do a separate video explaining all that. But that is a story of how I fell in love with a full-time touring musician. at his concert.